Hello, everyone. I'm Elise.
I'm Chloe.
And welcome to the Cool Down Room. It's race week, so let's talk about the Mexico Grand Prix. This feels like the most important thing to happen the entire race.
Roscoe had his own statue on the ofrenda for Dia de los Muertos. Elise was really concerned I didn't know what an
For a
ofrenda was.
split second,
She texted
Chloe,
me that right as I woke up, and so I saw that text, and then I went back to doom scrolling for a minute because I wanted to find a picture.
When
but
there
you
was,
got really worried that I didn't know
yeah.
what an ofrenda was, and I was like, girl, I know what it is. I was looking up a picture.
Well, normally if you see my text, you'll respond right away. And so when it put his, or Chloe will just in general respond to my texts really quickly.
Yeah.
And so it put up the little red sign, and then there was a really long pause, and I was like, oh no, does Chloe not know what an ofrenda is?
I do.
I was terrified, and I was like, I grew up, I'm from San Diego, okay? I don't know, I mean, I also went to private school, but in my, at least of everybody I knew, it was standard practice to learn about Dia de los Muertos.
Oh no, me too.
Okay, good. I don't know if that's different in other states, so I was really concerned.
Probably, but not in the ones not where I grew up either.
Well, yeah.
But I was looking up a photo. Trust.
Okay,
I saw your text and I went, oh, that's so cute.
concerned.
And then I was laying in bed doom scrolling, and I went to go find a photo.
I honestly thought that we
back.
were gonna have a repeat of a Chloe. It's because he's Asian. Because I have been thinking about that. I've thought about that at least once a day for the last week.
I was so tired last
week.
week.
That was so funny.
McLaren dropped the repercussions against Lando. In other
What
news,
repercussions? I genuinely
it
did
was
not hear
from,
about this.
I think it was from Singapore when they wanted Oscar to give him the place back, and then they wouldn't, and they were, you know how Singapore was kind of a shit show for McLaren.
When is it not? When is a race not? Apparently, after this weekend,
somehow were repercussions, and then they were like, maybe it'll be an FIA thing, and then they were like,
it'll be fine, and then they just moved on.
They were like, it's fine. Both our drivers are doing well this season. It's fine. Someone hacked into the FIA and found
I heard about this.
And Elise and I don't know what a CV is, so we kind of
genuinely don't. I know I texted you about this, so I'm trying to figure out what I told you.
I googled it. We text a lot. You want me scrolling for a minute?
We text a lot. I'm literally searching through my messages.
We could just
now.
Google it.
What
it's
a CV
a professional document used for job applications showing a candidate's skills, education, and experience to potential employers. So somebody stole that and was like, I'm Max Verstappen.
That's the dumbest thing to steal. Ollie and Kimmy stole their trainer's credit card.
That's
committed credit card fraud, and you took Max Verstappen's CV. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Lame.
Wait. So
lame. Do better.
I have to say
be
this.
Be funnier. Be like the robbers from the Louvre.
Yes, that's what I was
If you're
say.
gonna commit it, we do not endorse crime on this podcast. However, if you're gonna commit a crime, at least be funny about it.
People were saying that Ollie and
We're gonna
Kimmy
get arrested.
were the Louvre robbers. They were
You know
joking
what?
that they were oh my god, Mexico close enough to Paris.
I know
They
they
could have done
arrested.
it.
I know they arrested the Louvre robbers, but I wouldn't even put it past them.
Yeah. Well,
that
also
tracks.
all the people dressing up as the Louvre robbers for Halloween is my favorite thing ever because they're making it a cutesy little girly Halloween costume. And then I saw this
That's
reel.
amazing.
This is so unrelated, but I saw this reel yesterday, and it was this girl doing a new jewelry haul, and it literally is exact replicas of costume jewelry of the jewelry stolen from the Louvre. And then it's this deeply Australian girl who stitched it, and she was like, pardon me if I'm wrong, but is that the jewelry from the Louvre? And then 4 other people stitched it, and the comment section is so funny because it's just well, guess now because she's the girl who's filming the jewelry haul is filming it from a closet, a huge walk-in closet with a wall of shoes behind her.
Good for her. That's what I want.
The whole comment section was, well, I guess now I know where she got that money from the jewels.
Yeah.
Guess now.
Honestly, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I was literally just talking about how I don't know which size suitcase I'm going to bring for a 4-day trip, the carry-on or the big one. And I feel like that's bad.
Anyway.
Okay.
For
highlights from the CV. I'm gonna do it as a highlight reel. There's literally 3, but highlights from the FIA hacker incident. They were ethical hackers, by the way. Apparently,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You kind of have to be to hack the FIA.
Yeah, I've heard the term hacktivist before. You laugh, but I'm pretty sure that's a legitimate term, and I definitely didn't hear it on a sci-fi show. I definitely didn't hear that on a Marvel show. Absolutely not. Um, yeah, no, highlights. Max's CV, which we talked about. Fernando apparently has a picture of George in his phone case.
It's beautiful.
I
Somebody
have to
really,
imagine.
took the time.
I have to imagine. I don't know which one it is, but I have to imagine in my head it's the one where George and Fernando both look like they're high out of their minds.
Yeah, somebody took the time. They took a picture of Fernando on the phone, like zoomed in, and then must have sent it to George and was like, "Look at this." And then George posted it on his story, and he said, "Great choice, mate."
Oh, I fully thought that was from the hack.
And they were like, "No," and they were like, "Mate," it was like a fan at the race, took the time.
Oh, okay, good for them.
Oh my God, it's Fernando Alonso. And then took a picture, and then
noticed.
And they were like, "Wait, there's a sticker on his phone case," and then zoomed in, and they were like, "Is that George?"
Good for him.
It was really funny though, because George was fully on board with it. He was like,
Speaking of Fernando, we found this out from the hack. 2 teams breached the cost cap in 2025. It is still 2025. But one was Aston Martin, and they wouldn't say who the other one was. Personally, my money is on McLaren. As for Aston Martin, that did them a fat lot of good, didn't it?
Yeah.
Spending all that money did absolutely nothing.
And George
Work smarter, not harder.
George wanted to see his own car driven because we'll get into this, but in the free practices they had a lot of reserve drivers on the grid. So he wore a Mexican wrestling mask and sat in the stands to watch free practice too, to watch the reserve driver drive his car. And it's so viral, but he posted it on his Instagram story, and then all the F1 drivers reposted it and were like, "This is fucking gold," because it's so funny. He took a selfie from the stands, and I just I don't know, I'm not an oblivious person. If somebody was sitting next to me in the stands with a mask on, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, Spirit." And then if I heard their voice, I'd be like, "That's George." I'd be like, "That's George." I'd be like, "Hello, that is George Russell."
Something about George Russell wearing and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, a lucha libre. I'm definitely not pronouncing that right. Just go sit in the stands at a Grand Prix just makes me laugh.
Yeah.
This aggressively British man
It was internet gold. I ate that up.
Objectively, it would have been funnier if it was Isaac, because I'm 90% sure Mexico used to be a French colony.
Oh, it probably did.
So I do think it would be funnier if it was Isaac.
Yeah.
Or Pierre.
But George was just I want to watch my car on the track. From the garage? Nah, that's too boring. We do it from the stands.
Yeah. Objectively,
it was funny.
Correct choice on George's part. I understand why he did it though, because he would have gotten mobbed. I get why he wore the mask. Moving on, I don't even know how to segue this. Red Bull brought 4 upgrades to the weekend, new floor included. I did not hear what all of them were when they were talking about it, because I was working when they were talking about it and trying to watch one of the sessions. We'll get to that later. But it was weird as hell, because everyone else is throwing all of their money at next year's car, and because we're already at a point in the season where why are you
We have 4 races left.
We have 4 races left, which sounds insane. But why are you putting upgrades on your car now? FP1.
9 rookies drove. Honestly, good for them.
Good for them. They were doing good.
Arvid was Arvid's always tearing it up, but he pulls up in that Red Bull and it's just damn. And then Pato Award for McLaren. He's an IndyCar driver, but they put him up there mostly.
He's a reserve driver for McLaren. His full name is really hard to say because there's 2 of the same vowel right next to each other, so it trips me up every time I say it.
Yeah.
But the whole part of the reason that they chose Pato to drive when they were having, because you have to have your reserves drive at some point. Part of the reason they chose to have Pato drive in FP1 in Mexico is because he's Mexican, and IndyCar doesn't have a race. They're talking about it, but IndyCar doesn't have a race in Mexico right now.
Yeah.
So they were kind of okay, it's his time to race on home soil and to have his home crowd. Because he doesn't technically have a home race.
Yeah.
The commentators were talking about this is a way more technical aspect of this, but he had to be really, really careful in that. They were kind of comparing him to Paul Aaron, basically saying, that Pato had to be way more careful in the car because if you like crash a championship contending car,
Yep.
you're so screwed. Like they're gonna be way more mad than if you crash, you know, a Sauber. I don't remember who Paul Aaron was driving for today, to be honest.
Alpine.
Oh, Alpine.
He's the reserve driver
Okay,
for
yeah.
Alpine.
I knew that. I definitely
I
knew
love Paul Aaron.
it.
He just kind of pulled up in my
neutral.
For You page one day, and I was like, who dis? New name,
fun.
new account, who dis? And then I was like, oh my god, for Alpine, okay.
Yeah, he's fun.
He's like Albanian or something, like one of those really small European, like Eastern European countries. Like
okay.
he's not from like a main European country,
A main European country.
like one of the bigger countries.
No, I get what you mean, but that's like a crazy way to phrase it.
Yeah.
Ferrari's
Ferrari's driver, whose name I can never remember, was a Le Mans driver. He was also there.
Which one?
Not Joe, obviously, but
The
like
other
they're
one?
they're like child, as I put like lightly, like not like Joe was an F1 driver. This is like an F2 or F3 driver, I think.
Okay, wait.
I think he's French. I can't remember his name ever.
Antonio Giovinazzi?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's Italian.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look at that last name. Look at that name. That's an Italian man. Yellow flag for Isaac at turn 12. He fully reversed on the track.
Yeah.
Like, did you watch that happen?
No,
Because he
but I watched
went-
highlights, and
yeah.
that did make the highlight reel.
He went deep, like, into a turn and had to bail out, and he was just, like, slowly backing up on the track, and it just makes me
Yeah.
giggle. Arvin Lindblad goes up to 5th, and the commentators go, that's a miserable bit of reading for Sonoda, isn't it? Because he was ahead of Yuki. And I was like, honestly, yeah, but also shut up.
Franco just
Leave
went,
Yuki alone.
yeah, Franco just went like off the track at turn 7, and I was like, what are we doing? Why are we over there?
Why? Why are we in the wall?
Okay, FP2.
What's the point? I watched FP2 while I was at work.
Lando went like really wide at turn 11 and just off the track, and I was like,
Well,
oh.
he was having like misfires or power surges or
Yeah.
something. Something was wrong with his car. Sorry, something was fucked with Gimme too. I just have a note here that says he followed the first rule of IT, which is turn it off and back on again. Like
Yep.
they fully turned his car off and back on again on the track. I was like, dog, or at least like some of the systems that were
Yeah.
not working. I was like, that is fucking funny.
Carlos's helmet says smooth operator on it.
That's
I
just
feel like
important to me. I
It
just like
is,
that.
And Sparkles has been permanently put on all of his helmets.
Amazing. I love glitter. I once had someone tell me that they associate me with glitter. Like they see glitter and they think of me, and that was an amazing compliment.
Arvid has won Mexico 5 times. Mind you, he's not an F1 driver. So like with other
Like the other
formulas.
ones. Like
Yeah, like F2, F3, I'm pretty sure like in another like you put not Mexico F1, just Team Mexican race and other formulas. And I was like, huh?
I meant the Mexican race, and then I didn't realize that I
He's
wrote
not-
it like that.
He's not Mexican. We
He
should
is
preface.
not Mexican. I just had a typo in there. He's just won like the Mexican Grand Prix or I guess Grand Prix.
I read that note
in
like 20
other
minutes before we got
formulas.
here, and I was like, huh?
Lewis and George both almost went into the wall at turn 10. I just kind of think it's funny when they both go into the wall or almost like have something happen in the same spot because I'm like, haha, Mercedes.
Ha, Mercedes.
Mercedes, you're back. No matter how far
Yep.
you run, it will never leave you. You will never leave the grip that Mercedes has on you, Lewis Hamilton.
Max said he had no grip and then said it's like driving on ice, which is really ironic because it was 80 degrees in Mexico during the race this weekend. So I was like,
Why are you driving on ice if it's 80 degrees?
he was like,
That's
it's
not
really
safe.
slippery. It's like driving on ice. And I was like, sir, you're in Mexico. Do you know where you are? Do you know that you're real, Max Verstappen? Like, are you?
I don't think Max knows he's real.
A lot of the drivers don't. I'm convinced.
I think the drivers
I don't think
are
Oscar
just-
Piastri knows he's real.
No, me neither, to be honest.
Oh
That's-
yeah, it's also ironic
why
because
the
Max was
Sims
fastest
know
driver
that.
that day. And that he said that. Kimmy's still salty. Don't know about what.
Kimmy's still mad.
Liam was ahead of
yeah.
Kimmy, blocking him from passing or something, which he was not happy about. He was just like, I'm fucking losing. Liam's like always really pissed. Like I just feel like
Yeah.
anytime I hear Liam over the radio, he's not happy. George weaving through the polyboards because he went off.
I think, sorry, just to go back to that, because I like spaced for just enough time for you to switch notes. I think Kimmy and Liam should do it like NASCAR drivers do and just fight. And unfortunately, I do think Liam would win that fight simply because he's Australian.
Kimmy? Wait, who? Who? You said who's Australian, you think?
Liam's Australian, right?
He's New Zealand.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get
He's
fucking
Kiwi.
canceled. Liam is Kiwi. I'm sorry. Don't cancel me. I'm sorry. That's actually
You're
really
lucky
embarrassing.
my childhood best friend
because
doesn't
they
listen to this
do,
podcast because her mom
like,
is from Australia. And
They
Australia,
do like fight about that. And I feel really bad about it because
it's
like
okay. It's okay.
New Zealand gets
Australia
called like
and New Zealand is like
or-
the fiercest rivalry in the world.
I know, so I feel really bad about it.
Lance got a little racy with Pierre. I don't know if this is just me because like I grew up in a southern household and like racy in the South is used as like it's getting spicy, like things are escalating, like this could turn into like a fist fight, or like southern moms like mine will use racy to describe certain like movies. Like I'm going to use this as an example.
R-rated movies with a lot of sex in them.
Yeah, my mom would call that like a racy movie, or like I don't know, certain songs are like racy. And so when they said that, I was like, I had to like take a minute to process that like these are British commentators, so it's an entirely different meaning in like England than it has in the South.
Yeah.
And I think they just meant that he was getting like angry, like aggressive.
They were gonna fight the elbows out.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. I hate on Lance a lot. I've heard that he's like a really nice person.
Yeah, I have heard that too.
He's just kind of a bad driver. Okay, FP3.
Lewis went off the road at the first turn.
Yeah, Oscar went deep too. Don't know what was going on.
I don't know either.
Papaya trouble. Lando was doing like really well all weekend. We'll get more into that later. And Oscar was just kind of like hanging on by a thread.
Seeing Lando in P3 and Oscar in P15
Crazy.
is like a trick.
you said
Like
that
I was
last
like,
year-
are they wrong?
If
like
you said that last year, people would fully be like, yeah. And then if you said that at the beginning of this year, like the first half of this season, people would be like, are you insane?
no, genuinely, if you said that if you told anyone after Australia that like Lando and Oscar would be in this position, they would actually think you were nuts. Like
Yeah.
they were think you were high.
Yeah.
They were think you were high. They would think you were high.
Yeah. The Ferraris are like a lot closer in time than earlier in the season, which is like so good. Like their
Lewis
times
is
are
getting
so much
adjusted
closer.
to the car. Like you can kind of tell that
Yeah.
Lewis is figuring out like here's how you deal with the really shitty parts of
Yeah.
being in Ferrari, aka their car. Sorry. It's true.
But Lewis was in fact
Harsh, but true.
like fully distracted and like went off the track, and I was like, no, that's so me, Cora. I hate driving because I'm like,
What did he go off track twice?
Yeah.
Oh,
because I am that
okay.
person when I drive who's like, squirrel, oh my god, pasture full of cows, horse, oh I know that person.
George having the exact same lap time as Carlos.
Crazy. George said, I'm sliding all over the place.
I'm sorry, seeing a Williams and a Mercedes in the same spot
Wild.
jarred me a
Um,
lot.
Max's car was not great. Whatever. Alex
It
hopped up like
happens.
3 times.
Alex went off the track way too many times, and I love him dearly, so I hate seeing that.
Yeah.
Lewis was, when there were 10 minutes left of the session, Lewis was like at the top of the times, and I was so, like, it gave me hope,
Yeah.
which I should not have had,
No.
but it did
the
give me
Ferraris
hope.
gave us so much hope this weekend.
I'm not even a Ferrari fan, and I had hope.
Isaac was mad at the McLarens and Pierre. He goes, the McLarens are just in the middle of the road. And then he said, Pierre, come on, get out of the fucking way. And then he swore again and then called Pierre an idiot. But I'm pretty sure he, like, swore in French because they still bleeped it. But I didn't, like, understand what the bleep would have been. And I know how to curse in French because our French teacher, like, taught us.
That's amazing.
After 3 years of convincing her over COVID, she taught us how to curse in French. But, like, I think he swore in French because otherwise I'd be able to like discern like what word he said, but I was like, I don't think that was English.
Every once in a while, like
And I
you'll
said-
like hear a statement, and you're like, "Oh, that's where this word would go." If
Yeah.
it's like in English, or at least for me,
Yeah.
I'm like, "That is where I would say this word." So I'm just gonna assume he said that because that
Yeah.
feels natural. But
I
in
said,
French, that doesn't work.
I said, damn Isaac, tell him how you really feel.
Fight!
Finally,
Fight!
we're at quali.
Pierre and Isaac should fight now.
The
I
two
think they
Frenchmen.
should be allowed to do it like they do it in NASCAR and just fight. I think my F1 hot take is that there at the end of every season there should be a cage fight and drivers get to pick who like it's just for funsies. They get to pick who they fight and the ticket sales go towards a charity of the winner's choosing.
Yeah.
So like for between rounds. Like
Yeah. Yep.
what is it called? Brackets?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can pick your own bracket at the start, or it's between teams at the
I couldn't
start.
tell if you were trying to describe how the
Like March
racetrack
Madness.
is shaped.
No, like March Madness
I was
brackets.
like, yes,
So,
like a criterium. I was
so,
like,
like-
yes, a circular track.
So, like, in the beginning, like, Lewis and Charles would fight each other, and
Mhm.
then, and so on, and then it
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
About Oscar, we're going back to Oscar, to show you how much he was struggling, he is behind Oliver Behrman.
Which kicked him in the ass on Sunday.
Dude.
Karma's a bitch.
Wow.
They said something about how, like, being above 10 is expected for a Mercedes, and especially Kimmy, and that made me upset.
Why did that make you upset?
Because I was like, that's not fair. Because Kimmy was in, like, P11 or something, and they were like, they said something about, like, he's so close to being on the standard for Mercedes.
That's such fucking bullshit.
Oh, right?
He is 19. Leave him alone. Sorry if I'm being really loud tomorrow. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
I'm going to look into the camera as I say this. Leave Kimmy Antonelli alone.
And then one of the commentators just goes, he's going very quickly about Esteban Ocon, and I was like, well, yeah, he's in an F1 car.
I'm sorry. They do in fact go fast. Like, vroom vroom car go fast is like
And then they
rule
said-
number one.
all this bogey second sector, which was like so British. I was like, I've never heard anyone use that term in context, like actually in real life. And then they said, and this man, Franco
When they were, like,
Colapinto,
When they were reading everyone out.
they
who
go,
was out
and
of the
this
section.
man, and the camera just pans to Franco, and I was like, this man.
Wasn't he in like P20 or something? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
he was.
Yeah.
But they were like, and this man got out, and it just panned to him, like, getting out of the car, and I was like, why would you do that?
What's the point?
I
I
don't-
mean, I guess it's funny.
What was
Like,
the reason? But I just thought it was really funny how they, like, emphasized, like, Franco. The commentators were up Kimmy's ass during Q2.
Dude, when are they not? They're always up somebody's ass. Like, they always gotta pick someone, and like, they're just rude about it.
Yeah,
Leave them alone. Get off Kimmy's back.
yeah.
He's 19. He's a rookie. I get it. He's good. No one is the next Max Verstappen, so leave him the hell alone.
Oscar in P13 for a second. I looked up and I was like, huh? Damn. Okay. They said he's not arms and elbows. He's neat and tidy. And that was about
Oscar should have been elbows
But
out.
I thought that was really British. They were like, he's
Yeah.
not arms and elbows.
He's
He's
neat and
tidy,
tidy.
even though Oscar's Australian.
It's just a very British way to phrase that, but frankly, Oscar should have been elbows
And
out.
then
Oscar
like,
was fighting
yeah.
in like the race when he should have fought more in qualifying.
Yeah. Oscar like almost missed Q2, and I was like,
It's not even like
Damn.
scary. It's just like baffling.
my BAMs were
Almost
boozled.
missed Q2 or almost missed Q3.
Q3.
Okay, I like reread that. I was like, wait. It's not even like scary. It's just like baffling that he was that low.
Yeah.
That he almost didn't
Yeah.
make it to Q3. Ollie did though. Ollie's little. Did you hear that on
Yeah.
the radio?
He's
He goes,
so cute.
woohoo! When
That's
they
my
told him he was
husband.
through, and I was like, that is adorable.
I make this like ongoing joke that he's my husband. I think his relationship with his girlfriend is so cute. I think they're, and this is not being sarcastic. Like,
God.
good for him.
I'm
but like,
scared.
I make jokes like on the podcast, like that's my husband.
No, that's fair. I'll say that about male celebrities sometimes.
Because if
Like,
I was
as
gonna
a
marry
joke.
an F1 driver, like if they were like, you have to marry one, I'd be like, that one. That
That's-
man. The Ferraris gave me all the hope in the world, and I was like, God damn it, we all know what's gonna happen next.
It happens every time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even a Ferrari fan, and I get hope. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
I think they're gonna do well. I want to see Lewis get a podium in this car at the very least, and then it just goes badly.
Carlos in P4.
Woo. Well, because he needed that because he was gonna take a 5th-place
Yeah.
grid drop either way because he had like a penalty remaining from the last race, so he like, which was a 5th-place grid drop was the punishment, so we had to serve it.
Yeah.
And so had he not gotten like at the very least, I would have said P5 would have been the lowest I wanted to be if I was in his position. Because if you're in P10, you at least have a chance to fight like truly
Yeah.
for those points, and you're not as worried about, oh, am I even gonna get a point?
Yeah.
Lewis in P2.
I was so happy about that. Ollie was above Oscar. Enter gasp emoji, the one that's like truly shook. Because I was like, whoa.
Well, because Oscar was finally doing better this
Yeah.
time, and
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of don't even mind Ollie being above Oscar. I wanted to see Ollie on pole real
Yeah.
bad.
Carlos had a 5th-place grid penalty, but I have no idea why. And Lando.
That's the same thing. That's the same thing that I was talking about. It was a penalty
Yeah.
from the last
Okay.
race. Yeah.
Lando got pole at like the literal last second.
The commentators were like, he's had to wait 6 GP before claiming pole position. I said, that is not that many races, babe.
Yeah.
6 is not that many. You know how
The
long
crowd-
Nico Hulkenberg
No,
went?
right?
Nico Hulkenberg, I don't think has ever gotten pole, unless we're losing the ancient texts. He has never gotten pole. So
The crowds were so loud. I heard like Lewis
Yeah.
said that he like couldn't hear because it's in a stadium. It's like it's like
it's
one
like
of
a
the-
baseball stadium or something.
It's
It,
one
like,
of the
used to
only
be.
races, including Miami, that's like in an actual stadium.
Yeah. Well, the crowd's really happy, and on the radio, you just hear Orlando go, even I don't know how I did that. The less I know, the better.
Yep.
I was like, you know what? Hell yeah, my
Okay.
king. Actually, that's funny.
We have
You're funny.
20 minutes left, and we're just getting to the race.
The music, yes, I think the word I was looking for was mariachi, but I didn't want to be
was.
wrong.
No, that is what.
I didn't want to be wrong.
That-
But they did the music for the theme tune with like traditional instruments, so like mariachi instruments, and it sounds honestly so much cooler.
Yeah, it does.
It sounds better. I'm sorry. I don't remember why he got it, to be honest. He just did. Track temperature was 42
Celsius.
The air temperature was what? I'm looking up Celsius to Fahrenheit right now. Oh my god. Air temperature was 26, which in freedom measurements, track temperature was 107 and
Wow.
air temperature was 79.
That's not bad.
Rounding up, which air temperature is not bad, but track temperature is, as the commentator said, gross.
Yeah. I thought you put that note in there. That's funny.
No, that is disgusting. A 107 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wild start for Lando.
Yeah.
Wild start for everyone. Max immediately goes off track. So does Charles. You just see a line of Lando and then like Lewis, Charles, and Max all fighting, and Lewis, Charles, and Max are all in a line right behind Lando, but like literally Lando was like an inch ahead of them, and they are all fighting.
Also, I
and
should
Max,
point out, this is the first Mexico Grand Prix without Checo in a hot second, because otherwise this would be his home race. Like,
oh my god, because that hurt me for a minute. I was like, oh my god, it really it's been a really long time since it wasn't Checo.
No.
race.
It's been since last year.
Max was going, I got squeezed like crazy. Max, you did that to yourself.
He really did.
You chose to fight all three of them at the same
No,
time.
He went
You did
off-
that to your damn self.
He went off, and I was watching it with my friend Katie, and we got so excited because we were like, oh my god, Max is off track. And then he comes back and is still in P4, and we were like, ugh, damn, okay, whatever. He almost ended up in the wall. Lance did too think, wait, Elise, this is your no. I'm confused.
Okay, so Lance went off the road, and so he ended up at like the back of the pack. So like literally the whole reason I wrote that is I was like literally everyone is going off the road right now because
Yeah.
Lance went off too, like, and then he like had to actually like physically get himself back on track.
Yeah. Okay,
Ollie was up 3 places by lap 2.
I was so happy. I quoted "Go Kylie, go! You're doing amazing, sweetie" like 20 times throughout this race. The commentators were losing their shit when Ollie went up 3 places.
As they should be. That's incredibly
No
impressive.
idea when this happened, but it made international news. The race marshals crossed the track in front of Liam.
During the race, which
And
is
you can
so
hear, like,
fucking dangerous.
There are people who filmed it from the crowd, and the whole crowd is like, because they can see Liam coming and like seeing them start to cross, and the whole crowd is
were
going
they-
like, no, don't do it. And Liam's like, I could have fucking killed them. Liam was like, what the just happened? Because he slowed down like so much that he like didn't actually kill them. It was bad.
No, because how are you as a fucking like race marshal crossing the street when you know there are F1 cars coming? I don't understand why they did it. I don't understand the thought process, and I also don't understand why there's not like a bridge or something over it.
Yeah.
So that, because if they were like in order for them to cross, if they absolutely have to, because why would you do that? You should,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you should know better.
Liam was in the pits, and we were like, oh, okay. Like immediately after that.
I don't, he like
He got
needed
a
a
new
new
nose.
nose.
But I don't know why
then-
he needed a new nose.
Me neither. They never said. And then he
And
also
it was
like,
it was a ass pit stop.
and they never, it was like a 13.9 second pit stop. And then he went back out, but then he came back in. So he was out of the race and they never said why.
Yeah. Lewis had to take the escape route, which pissed me off after a lockup. That pissed me off. But apparently this is the first race, they just added that escape route. Like it's a new addition to the track. I was like, at least they're using it.
Yeah. Lewis and Max hit when Lewis was like coming back from the escape road or like rejoining the track and like was just on the track, and Max goes off the road and they were like, "Oh, Max Verstappen is driving it like a shopping cart,
Yeah.
like a shopping trolley."
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Ollie went up to P4 passing Max, and I was like, he must have been shitting his pants, because if you're behind Max or in front of Max for like most of the race, and then he was behind Lewis, and then he was
Hamilton.
in front of George, like he must have been shitting his
And
pants.
and Ollie is British. Like, to be right behind Lewis Hamilton, British racing icon, and like
And you're
having
20?
to pass him.
Because Kimmy did
I
that
would be
earlier this
shitting
year, and
myself.
everyone was like, "Holy fuck!"
Like, I would be shitting myself.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no.
If I was on that track, it's the same thing as like when any of the rookie drivers are like up and you see that behind them is like Lewis or Max or even like Lando or Oscar. I'm like, I would be like
Oh yeah, no.
crying.
Oh, yeah,
like,
no.
I would be like,
Like looking
please.
in your rear view and seeing that it's Max Verstappen, I just be
That
like,
is nightmare fuel.
like I
like
start shaking.
that is nightmare
Yeah.
fuel.
All of this was like,
Laps 1 through 4. I look up, it is lap 10.
yep. Liam, we said this. Liam was in the pit. We don't know why. Then he was out. Okay. Bye, Liam.
No, literally, because I thought at this point I was like, well, they've already put the part back on, right? Because he already came back out.
Because, like, was
So
it really necessary for him to go out when it was very evident
I-
you, like, actually fixed the problem? Like, I was very confused.
they were talking about Yuki at one point, and like honestly, thank God Christian Horner is gone, because if he wasn't, we would be looking at Isaac in that Red Bull right now, and I don't want that.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
I really don't
I
want
love
that
Isaac
for him.
too much for that.
I just don't want it to ruin his career. Yeah, Esteban was at the back and he was telling his like engineer, he was like, "Oh, like dangerous defense from like one of the people in front of him," and the commentators go, "You want to see what we've had further up the line?
Yeah.
You want to come up here?" Like,
Lewis got a 10-second time penalty for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Pissed me the fuck off.
Ferrari was mad, bro. Ferrari was like,
Ollie was, like, in P3 for the majority of the
"Oh
race.
yeah."
And I was like, oh my god. Oh my god. 'Cause
Ferrari
I
took
thought
a-
that Isaac was going to be the next rookie to get a
No, me too,
get
to
a
be
podium
honest.
after Kimmy.
Yeah. Ferrari took a really long time to tell Lewis about that penalty. And I remember being like, why the did they wait this long? Also, Fernando Alonso's 7.1 second pit stop.
I was
Get it together.
Get it together. This is a race. Lock in.
Lock in.
Max could hear them all talking about what strategy they were doing, and then he was
Well,
like, I can hear everything.
GP is like on the radio. He's like, so what are we doing? A? B? Like, we're doing a one stop, right? Like, and then Nico was out. We still don't know why. They didn't say during the race.
I just looked
he
at the
was just
leaderboard, and all of
gone.
a sudden he's just out, and I was
That
like,
happened with Fernando too. I was like, where the is Fernando?
They like panned at Fernando's car just getting like pulled back into the garage, and I was like, okay.
All right.
Carlos's car was
Wait.
jumping in the pit lane. Which
Yeah,
I don't.
but he said it was like only in the pit lane was the weird thing, is that he was like, yeah, like chuck it, because why the am I only
Oh.
jumping in the pit lane?
This was the radio from Max. He goes, so what do you want me to do? And his engineer goes like this. What do you want me to do? He was like, stay back out, Max. And then he's like, keeps talking. His engineer like keeps talking, and he's like, I can hear everything.
Dude, Max pitted. Once Max finally pitted, he was on softs for like a long ass time.
I don't know why.
Because I'm pretty sure it was a one stop race for him. Like,
yeah.
he was on softs for like most of the race,
Yeah.
I think, which is a lot. Like, I would not
Yeah.
want that.
Radio of the Century by George
Russell, I love
He
you.
goes, I got a f***ing car up my fucking ass, because they were like, try and pass him. He's like, I can't. He was like, I'm willing to give the place back to Kimmy, but my tires suck or something.
He
like
literally,
that.
well, because they were telling him to like maintain his rear brakes and tires, and he was like, I literally fucking can't. Oscar
Yeah.
is up my ass right now. Have Kimmy switch with me, and I can take Behrman because I'm faster.
And he was also really funny. He was like, we've got a fucking he's like, we've got a fucking Haas on the podium. This should be interesting.
No, literally. I texted Chloe when he was saying that, and because I wasn't able to take notes at that point, and I was like, I love George,
It
and
was
I stand
so
by
funny. I laughed.
I
so much
stand
with
by
that.
it. George wasn't happy even after they switched
Yeah.
positions, though, because he was still having a hard time with his tires and having to fight Behrman, and having to fight Ollie, and having to do
Yeah.
like 9 other things.
Oscar and Kimmy pitted at the same time because Mercedes said, you know what, we're going to do a 2-pit stop. And then McLaren goes, guess what? So are we.
Yeah. Well, they like had to. They were like trying to pit so that Oscar could pass Kimmy in the pit
Yeah.
lane, and one of them goes, and one of the commentators was like, "This has got to be majestic from McLaren." I was like, I had no f***ing faith
Yeah.
that Oscar was gonna come out ahead. I thought that Kimmy was gonna be done.
Yeah, okay. 71 lap race. On lap 70,
70.
yellow flag because Carlos is stranded on the side of the track. And then enter the skull emoji, like the I'm dead one, virtual safety car, and I was like literally like on the edge of my seat. I was like, damn.
Well, and then as this like safety car is happening, Max and Charles are fighting
Like,
actively.
yeah.
And I love when they fight. I think it's so fun,
Yeah.
personally.
P4 for Ollie, which was
Career
so
best.
good. His dad
They
was
did
there.
a little mini poll celebration.
His
for
girlfriend
him.
started like sobbing when
Good for
he was
her.
doing his press interviews, and then they pan the camera to his like family, like all like losing it, and then they pan it back to him, and like Ollie's about to cry, and he's like, "Why would you show me that?"
Oh, no,
He's
that's
like,
so
"Now
real.
I'm emotional."
I'd be like, why the would you show me that right now? I don't want to cry in
but it
public.
was really cute.
It's adorable. They had him with like he had like a little mini bottle of champagne and
It
he
was
like
really
sprayed it on
cute.
his team and it was adorable. However, now Lando is leading the championship by 1 point. So I fear it's going to be Abu Dhabi 2021 all over again. I want to say
Yeah.
that's the year that happened. Not to like dredge up really fucked up memories for everyone, but that is all that we have for you today. I will be right back here next week with a rewind about Mario Andretti because I am presenting on him for a class, so we're doubling up with that. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Ithaca Cooldown Room.
And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like this video.
With that being said, I'm Elise,
And I'm Chloe.
and we will see you very soon. Have a beautiful week. Mwah.